Hello, everybody. How is everyone doing? Oh my goodness. How is everybody? Do you know what? Whilst I've been sitting here, I've been reading the chat. Oh, guys, the Anushka family. Yes, we are one family here. We all support one another. And I can see that there's some new people in the chat, which welcome to the live streams. How is everyone doing this week? I'll tell you something. I've got to tell you guys, I've got to admit that I was thinking, do I do the live today? This is why I was so last minute. Okay, basically, I am traveling on a Thursday. I'm going to give you 3 guesses where. And I'm sure that you will be able to guess in one answer where I usually go. But do you know what? The audio is off. Can you guys hear me? No. Can you guys hear me? Oh, okay. So yeah, like literally, I hadn't even packed. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thank you, because I'm like, oh my God, I cannot deal with another issue. Like, I have had so many issues. Look, I'm going to go red. Look, I'm going red. I'm actually going red. Oh my God, because honestly, the issues that I've had over the I'm not even going to talk about them. There always is something that has to go wrong. Oh, bless. Okay, so yeah, so like literally I was thinking, I haven't got everything packed. I haven't done it. Like, oh my God, I have got like a mountain of clothes in my bedroom, and like I haven't even put it in the suitcase. I don't even know what I'm taking. Anyway, it's fine. I am such, yes, Paddy, yes, Og. So that's exactly where I'm going. So over the next kind of like 5 to 6 weeks, that is where I'm going to be streaming. And if I can, obviously I'll show you the view. But I think at the time, because they're a few hours ahead, they're 2 hours ahead. Yes, everything. Yes, you guys are right. It might be dark, but look, I'll obviously I'll be posting the pictures, so you'll see where I am. It's so beautiful. And for those of you that have kind of been on here a while, you probably would have seen them. But yes, so that's what's happening. And so I was thinking, will I have enough time to do the stream? Like, oh my God. So that's why it just all went up today. So I'm really, really sorry, guys, that I am last minute. I'm sorry. I am one of those people. Yes. Oh, and also, guys, we reached 100K, all right? And Flynn Cosmo, that's so funny. I love that. Blishnush. Yes. We reached 100K. Like, oh my God, I cried. I actually cried because it was an achievement. But on the other hand of that, I've also quite sad that so many people have been affected by this experience. You know, that's what really upsets me the most. Is I really wish that there was a way of preventing it from happening, you know, in the future for others. But sadly, I don't know what that formula is. I don't know how we can. I guess we just have to educate ourselves kind of after it and try and understand this the best way we can and navigate our ways through it. But you know what? You can get through this. And I think that's really the message here, is that whatever you have been through, how awful it is, you can move through this. You can absolutely move through all of this. And what I will say is thank you so much to each and every one of you for your support. For those of you that have been here for quite some time, but also the new people, I just want to say that I'm so grateful for every single one of you. And thank you so much for subscribing. It honestly means so much to me. So thank you so much. Right, with that being said, shall we start the live? Shall we continue? Okay, so the most unbearable, the most awful, the most damaging, the most hurtful thing that the narcissist does. Do you know, I feel like so many of us go through these experiences, and I really feel like what has happened, the most damaging or the most awful thing will be very different for people, for every one of us. Because not only could I really talk about the kind of the experiences that we have and go into that and talk about that, you know, intensely, but that might not be the worst, the most damaging thing, you know, to each and every one of you. But what I would like to talk about on this live is the neurological aspects, like what happens, you know, within the brain structure, within the brain chemistry. When we do experience this, when we do go through something like this, and how you can change this, how you can actually make this better. I also want to touch upon the physical side of what happens when we experience this narcissistic exploitation. I really feel like there's things that we can do to help us to manage this and also to heal from this on another level. Okay. But one thing that we do know for sure is once you've had a narcissist in your life, they have changed you forever, because you're never going to go back to being that person that you were right at the beginning, right at the start of this experience. I would also like to say, if you guys are on the live stream and you have just joined, please do hit the like button or smash the like button. I would really, really appreciate it, so that I'd know, you know, like, so that this information can get out there. Also, I did realize that I forgot to say, where is everyone from? So hello, Rachel from Sweden. I'm in the UK only for a few more hours, and then I'm changing location. I'm so excited, guys. I'm actually so excited but nervous. So yes, so just put it in the chat. Where are you guys from? Where are you watching? Oh, Hertfordshire, yes. Hertfordshire, massive. New York, the Netherlands, London. Amazing. Edinburgh, West London, Boston. Gosh, you guys are from all over. I love it. It just blows my mind. So thank you for being here. We've got Liverpool in the house, Cuvée, Germany, Worcestershire, Denmark, Arizona. Do you know what? I love Arizona. I haven't been there for many years, but it's so beautiful. California. Oh, today is Sweden's National Day. Quebec, Montreal. Oh my God, amazing. Florida. British, but in New York. Oh, sorry, so you're in New York. South America, Ohio. Amazing. North Carolina, Norway. Oh, wow. Oh, so that's where you're from, the guy next. So you're from Norway. So Texas. Guys, big, massive hug from me. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. So, the most damaging thing. Let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the actual beginning, because I feel like let's look at that. Let's go through this and let's look at how damaging this whole thing is. You know, I think the first thing is when we meet them. All right. The reason why is because when we meet people, we form first impressions, and first impressions are a thing, guys. I know, like, a lot of people say, no, this changes, but when we get to know someone, this is how we form schema meaning how we form the impression, how we get to know someone, how we see someone, you know, for the first time. And so think about it also, like, we feel their energy, we feel what they are like, okay? And this is how we get to know who this person is. All right. So when we get to meet this person, they come across as the most charming, the most wonderful person, because they're showing their best side to you at that time. They are, not only are they mirroring, but they're also trying to portray the best side of them. Come on, like, I get it. We all do it. Like, when we're meeting someone, you know, like in a romantic sense, we're going to meet someone, you know, for the first time on this first date. Of course, we're not going to really be ourselves. We're going to be very guarded, and you know, we're gonna be like very nervous. And yes, granted, the narcissist is too. You know, not nervous. They are watching. They are also going to be trying to suss you out, trying to get a feel of you. They're going to be trying to see what your energy is like. And of course, they have an attraction to you. I think a lot of it is they're the ones that ask the questions. They're the ones that watch. They are the ones that learn about your facial expression, your body language, how you react to certain things. This is what they do, because so they study you. And when they study you, what happens is that they also are then able to mirror you. All right. So then after that, they then become a projection of what you would like in a partner, of who you would want them to be. That is the lie. That is ultimately the biggest lie right at the beginning, from the start. Because they are not showing you an authentic version of themselves. They are showing you a fake version. They are showing you someone that you would want them to be. So I feel like that is one of the most damaging things that actually happens right at the beginning. Don't you think, guys? Because look, you know, you're going there. They're coming to you under false pretenses. And that is damaging because you're not really actually knowing who they are ever. Because I mean, who are they? Who actually are they? They don't actually have a stable sense of self. They don't have a real identity, which is why they borrow certain people's, whoever they are with at the time, they borrow their identity. And that to me is very strange. And when we are none the wiser at the time, we don't see it at the time. You see, because actually what we are concentrating on is, thank you so much. Thank you, guy next door. Bless you. I might be wrong, but it seems like the narc makes us fall in love with the poor imitation of ourselves. When looking back at it, it's not common or healthy to have everything in common with someone. Yes, this, you know what, guy next door, this is exactly it. This, they make us fall in love with an imitation. Okay, so because it's their interpretation of what we want someone to be. Now, isn't it strange? Now think about it. Isn't this very, very strange that somebody would have, so you would have like so much in common with this person? Like, do you know what? Like, I think that is a real big red flag, my friends. That is something that you should actually look out for, whether it's friendships, whether it's romantic partnerships, even in family settings as well. Like, you got to look out for that. People don't have that. It's not natural. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not natural. It's not natural to mirror someone. Okay. It's not natural to pretend to be like that person. When you are healthy, you bring yourself to the table. Do you know what? You are yourself. It's very hard to keep that imitation going. It's very hard to pretend to be someone like all the time. And even the narcissist can't keep that up. Think about it right at the beginning. They're so lovely. They're so kind. You know, you're like, oh, wow, this is just the most amazing person. And this is done especially. This is done exactly especially so that you fall for them, that you stay. Because they don't want you to go. Believe it or not. They don't actually want you to go. They want you to keep giving them supply. Supply in the fact that you give them attention. You give them your focus. You give them your kindness. And you keep giving it. So they've got to make it worth your while. They've got to make you stay. They've got to trick you into staying. And by that, where I say making it worth your while, because they'll stop after a while, right at the beginning, they try and keep you trapped in this loop, thinking that they are this wonderful person. They are just like you. They've got so many things in common with you. This, my friends, this is the biggest lie. This has to be one of the most damaging things. Because you don't really get to know who that person is, and you can't make an informed choice whether you want to stay in this dynamic or whether you want to leave, because you're not allowed to leave. You are trapped. This is so damaging from the offset, isn't it? Isn't it, my friends? And it's kind of like we are robbed of being able to make an informed decision for ourselves. Because we can't, we're not allowed. We don't see the truth until later on. Guys, if you are liking this live so far, please do press the like button. I would be very, very grateful this information can get out there to a wider audience. Philip says, when one day you just look at them and literally say, who are you? And that's a really interesting point, Philip, because I also think that, you know, when you leave these dynamics as well, you know what, you kind of think, well, actually, who is that person? Like, who was I with all of this time? Who is this? Because I know that I also asked myself that question. Who was this guy? Like, you know, I don't even know who he is. And that's because of this unstable sense of self. And when you don't have a stable sense of self or a sense of self, you lose yourself. You don't know who you are. You lose yourself. It's not just about identity. It's about really knowing who you are, where you stand in this world. What is your purpose? Who are you? So you're kind of lost. And you know where this stems from, my friends? This stems from childhood, where this child was not allowed to be themselves. Remember, their mind would have been muddled in trying to conform, trying to be a representation of who their parents wanted them to be. Because if your parent doesn't accept you as a kid, all right, you're going to do everything that you can to make to make your parents happy, because you want unconditional love. But when love is conditional, what can you do for me? Right, that's how they learnt to be from childhood. Then this is going to continue into adulthood, because no one's going to tell you, oh, that's wrong. And also looking at this or going through on this like in a neurological sense. Oh, I'm saying thank you so much, my dear. Thank you. For me, it's the fear. For me, it's the fear he's put in me of failing in love again. It's all I ever used to want. Will I even get to this stage again? I hope so. Do you know what I will say? Do you know what that is about? Yes, you will. But do you know the key here is you. You've got to fall in love with you. Because when you're expecting this from outwardly, from someone else, you will be disappointed. Not because you're not lovable, but because you're expecting. And when we have expectations of others, we mostly will get disappointed because people behave in different ways that maybe we don't understand, or maybe that we're even expecting. So this is really about loving yourself. Connection to self, my friends, connection to self. When we are connected to ourselves, we get to know who we are. We get to know what our wants and needs are, and we supply that for ourselves. Then we will not get disappointed. When we care about ourselves, when we look after our own needs, when we are there for ourselves, that is how we fall in love. Because we're doing things for us that make us happy, because we're putting ourselves as number one. When we're externalizing that and putting everyone else before us, like we did with the narcissist, we made them the center of attention. We made them number one. And I know that this can also be quite cultural, where we also put others, make sure that other people are happy and that they're enjoying themselves. Yes, it is also cultural, because this existed within my family structure. You know, make sure everyone's all right. You know, Anushka, look after your sister, make sure she's okay. But no one ever said, oh, what about me? Because I was the oldest, my sister's younger than me. And that's the thing. So I get it. But this is where we have to bring that back onto ourselves and think, do you know what? We are important. So Singh, you know what? When you love you, when you stick up for yourself, when you protect yourself and you look out for you, you will find love, because you know what? You will attract it, because you are on that vibrational state. You love you. So you're already in that love vibration. So it will come to you. You will love again. Remember, manifestation is real. Honestly, I'm just going to say it again. I dreamed of getting to this point on my YouTube channel. You are welcome. And it happened. Because I persevered. Do you remember last week, guys, when I was telling you that they wanted to bring my channel down? Twice this nearly happened to me, twice. I was like, nah, do you know what? I'm not going down like this. I'm going to keep going. I am so going to keep going. And we're here. So Singh, you believe in yourself and you make it happen, all right? Because you have the capability of doing that. Right. So what was I saying? Yeah, so the mirroring, the most weirdest thing, isn't it? Like, why would you pretend to be someone else? So then they go back into childhood. Remember conditional love. Conditional love is all about, there's no bound, like conditional love, all right, is about what you do for me. It's transactional. It doesn't feel normal. It doesn't feel good. It almost feels like you've got to keep doing something for someone. All right. So this is what I was going to say. So when that child is growing up, all right, think about the neural structures that are happening for that child. That child is learning that they are not lovable and that other people are not lovable either. You're not allowed to love. So there's this separation. There's this it's called a polarization in psychology, where you have conflicting feelings, emotions, and thoughts. All right, and they're at the polar opposite ends. You're feeling love. You're feeling like, oh, I really love my mum and dad. I really want them to love me. You have this unconditional love for your parents, because every child does, until they're then conditioned into thinking otherwise, which is what happens in this scenario. So the child is thinking, the narcissistic child is like, I love my mum and dad, or I love my caregiver. I want this love from them, but I don't want to feel like, but I feel that it's forbidden. So this is the dysregulation, or this is very much a skewed way of seeing love. Which is why when I talked about, the Madonna whore complex, where the whole boundaries between the parent and the child is skewed. So this is the result of that, because you don't know how to feel, you don't know how to be. And so the narcissistic child is very much lost within their childhood, within this scenario, within this dynamic. And this feeling of lost, it doesn't change as they get older, because nobody corrects it. No one tells them differently. So that's why neurologically, as the child is growing, this is where the trauma, this is emotional trauma. Kerry Ann says, does they feel imposter syndrome or something like that when they play a role with each person? That's a really interesting question. I would say on a huge level, they do, but they don't feel guilty about it. They feel almost as though they have to do that, because that depends on their very survival. Remember, they have learned to mold themselves into something that their parents wanted them to be. Okay, so if you're doing that, if you continue to do that, that then becomes normal, doesn't it? It's a very normal part of growing up. You're welcome, Carrie Ann. It's a very normal part of being in the world. So that's what they think. They think that this is something that should happen. This is something that will continuously happen. And this is the way that they should be. So that's how they bring you in. That's how they keep you trapped, in these relationships, in these dynamics. Also, like when you have family members that are narcissistic, they keep you trapped in that knowledge that you have a role. And this can cross over, this can cross over from a romantic dynamic to also a family dynamic. You have roles, okay, that you need to perform. You got to do this for them, because if you're not doing it, you're not important. We're just going to get rid of you. This is the transaction that I'm talking about. You do things for me, but stuff you, I'm not doing it for you. You owe me. So if you think that that is how the child's brain is constructed, they're going to keep doing this into adulthood. This is how this is going to happen. I'm just reading your comment. You're not going to get closure. You're not going to get closure. I know you want to do that, but the revenge, my friends, you know what this is about. That's just about nothing, nothingness. They want revenge. They want to provoke you. This is the trigger. Don't fall for it. You've got to think. They think differently to the way that me or you do, the way that me or you see this thing. Okay? They think about this differently. They're not constructed the same way that me or you are. I mean, look at what I'm just saying. Like, why would you want to trick someone into being in a relationship with you? Why is it that everything has got to be so transactional? They think differently. And you're absolutely right, Saul. Karmic boomerang. Yes. Silence. They can't deal with the silence. No. And you're right, Paddy. Revenge. Dig 2 graves. They won't stop. They will continue. Honestly, guys, if you haven't watched that video that I did, I think, was it last week or something like that? Revenge. This is the only way that you can do it, is silence. Ambivalence. That's how you got to be. Because they want to know that they're still affecting you. That's what they want to do. They want to know whether you still care. And if you care, then whatever they're doing is going to affect you. You've fallen into the trap. So tipping that drink over their head, over his head, he wants this. Remember, supply, whether it's positive or negative, they want it. Come and give it to me. Oh, yes. That's what they want. You have to, I know that it gets under your skin, and I know it's not comfortable. And I know what he did is not right, or whatever they did to you, whether it's her or him. They want this. They want to provoke you. This is the trigger, isn't it? This is that prodding and poking. But you have to rise above this. You are better than that. What, you're going to be playing tit for tat? What, you're going to engage in these behaviors with him or them or her? What's the point? Go. Just go. Because that's going to hurt them more. Your silence. They're not constructed in the same way, or they don't think the same way that me or you do. This cannot be changed. This cannot be remedied. Not through medication, not through therapy. It's done. It's done. Neurologically, can't change it. And that is the only way that you're going to be able to change someone, really, is neurologically, changing neural pathways. We can do it. We can do it through reconstruction, through NLP, through habit formation. We can change the way that we think. We can change the way that we see things through manifestation, visualization work, reframing. There's a lot of things that we can do because we have awareness. And that is the key here, my friends, is when you have awareness and you are able to go within. Okay. Oxford, thank you so much, my dear. Thank you. 6.5 months. Oh my God. 6.5 months. You did it. You have did it. You have passed the halfway point. Can we just give Oxford a huge round of applause? Well done, my love. Well done. Not one word to them. This is determination. Woo! Well done. Well done, Oxford. You've smashed it. You have. You've done it. And this is what I'm saying, my friends. If you want something badly, you can make it happen. You see? And you can get through this. You can move forward from this. And I know how difficult it was for you right at the beginning. It is, because it plays with your mind. And you always feel like, have I done the right thing? Like, are they really narcissistic? I know, like we question ourselves like 57 times. But these things are achievable. And you see, when you have that distance, and for you as well, I'm saying, when you have that distance, you've got that brain space, you've got that mind space to be able to think, to be able to detach from this. And that's what this is about, is detachment, the ambivalence. I know that they still have these, this hold over you energetically, emotionally, psychologically, but it's about pulling it. You have to pull away. It can be done, because this most damaging thing that there's the title of this video that they do to you. This continues after, like when you leave. This can still continue if you let it. You can still allow the words that they have said to you to go round and round in your mind, telling you how awful you are, telling you that you are not good enough. Yeah, this is you punishing yourself. This is you allowing this to get through. Oxford, well done, my dear, well done. And Eric is here as well. Hello. You know, it's like what I say all the time. This is your life. You have choices. And I know that there is a certain anxiety in having choice. But you have to make the choice that is right for you. Because we get one chance at this. And this is about moving forward. The way that you want. The way that is good for you. The way that is suitable for you. It's about getting your own power. Because when you have these people in your life, you have no power at all because they take it away. But on some level, we also willingly gave it, or we were tricked into giving it. And I know that's harsh. I know that's really harsh. But once we recognize that, we are able to fix it. And you're right, Miss Rockstar. You know, they do create anxiety in you. It's their energy because you're feeling their energy. This is energy exchange. The most damaging thing for some of us could be after, you know, when they leave. This constant, you know, barrage of negativity that comes after, this overthinking that we are left with, the anxiety, you know, in some cases depression, and also in some cases on another level, you know, these thoughts of ending our lives. I can't say that word either, sorry. You guys know what I mean. This is that energetic exchange. Once you know, it's like you feel their energy on you. But it's like you have to work through this to move that through you. Just keep it going. Keep going forward. So when you are silent and they are watching you, because believe me, they will be watching you. You think they're going to just let you go like that? After they think that they own you? You think that they're going to let you go without, you know, messing it up for you somehow? They're going to be watching. They will watch because that's what they do. Because they need to see where you are in all of this. They need to see whether you have, how far you have progressed and where you are, what you're doing. But if you're going to let this affect you to that point, thank you so much, Guy Next Door. I love that name. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Ghost them if you must. Remember, they are predators. Protect yourselves if you don't trust your ability to leave or they pose a real danger. Thank you so much. Thank you for actually putting that out there. Guys, please take note of this because the guy next door is absolutely right. You know, they are predators and you're tricked. You're tricked in staying into these dynamics. Okay, you have to see past this. You have to see through this. Guys, you know who they are. They're narcissists. They are toxic. They are not good for you. Toxic is a poison, okay? They do pose a real danger. A danger to your health, mentally and emotionally. They pose a threat to that, and I will be talking about this later on in the live. You guys are stronger than you think. But you have to start believing that. Thank you, M. Singh. Paddy, he is, the pooch is asleep downstairs. I couldn't have him in this room. He wanted to be in this room, but he snores too loud. So there would have been snoring. Like on some of my videos, I have done that. I've made that mistake and we can hear the snoring dog in the background. So we'll be doing that again. But look, you know, you have to see it for what it is. Like, you know, you are watching videos on narcissism. You're here on this live. You know who they are. You know what they did to you. Don't doubt that. Know that this person is not okay. What they have done is not all right. How dare they? How dare they think that they can get away with that? That they do that to you? Are you going to let that lie? And I'm not talking about revenge. I'm talking about you leveling up, you rising up in your power, in yourselves. It's your life. You're going to let them still cause misery and stress so that they are damaging you even more? Haven't they done enough already? I mean, think about it, right? So we're still there thinking and listening to the disgusting words that they have used to speak to us. All right. This is done purposely because they chose those words and those sentences to say to you. And this is done, you know why? To make you conform, to make you feel small, to make you feel fear. Okay, so when you're in fear, you know, your body goes into survival mode. Think about what is going on when you're in survival mode. You've got the fight, flight, or freeze. Except you can't fight, so you freeze. All right, and when you're in that state, think about all of the adrenaline and cortisol that is going around in your body. Physiologically, what is going on? Your mind is in a state of shock, of fear, trying to survive this moment. And how many moments are like this in this dynamic? And that continue after, when the relationship is over, or when you've left that family dynamic. Think about how many times that's still there, that still remains as a trauma. You know, the PTSD of it being, you know, you're reminded of what was said, why they said it, yeah? So every time you think of that thought, or every time you are caught in this dynamic, or you're caught in a trigger, all of the hormones such as cortisol, adrenaline is being released. Think about, you know, that's released into your bloodstream. So your heart's got to beat faster. Your organs have got to work that little bit faster to keep up to the rhythm of your heart. This is why we have heart dysregulation, hormonal imbalances. Also added to the fact, maybe we have IBS, the stress. Think about what that's going on and the way, and then so all of this combined, we can't sleep, we can't eat, can't function. Some of us can't even go to work, so that affects us financially. This is a poison that spreads throughout all of your life, everything. It affects everything. So this is how damaging it is to have a narcissist in your life. So for those of you wanting revenge, wanting to do that, do you know what? You really want some more of that poison? Let them be. Bye. Get away from them. And get away from them as fast as you get. Put your trainers on. Open that door and run. Run as far away and as fast as you can. Okay? Because inviting that poison back is only going to play with you physiologically, emotionally, and psychologically. And this is what I'm talking about, choices, my friends. This is what I'm talking about, choices in our lives. Okay? Because it doesn't just affect one area. It stops you from actually living your life. You feel like you are paralyzed, you're stunned, you're shocked, you're not yourself. And even after, when we get past this stage, we still remember. This will remain as a trigger. This will remain as a trauma that has happened to us. But for those of us who are really at the next point, you can rise above that. You can get through that. Oxford, bless you, my dear. Thank you so much. Day 90, number 90 on my bed. Now diagnosed with POTS and double standing constant weakness, dizziness. My body crashed from the abuse. I'm in the fight of my life. Do you know what, Oxford, bless you, my dear. You know, I know that this has been such a treacherous journey for you. I know that you have done so much of the work and you are still fighting. You're still going forward, you know, and yes, it is really difficult at the moment, and it's painful, it's awful, and your mind does play tricks, and it does. But you know what? You're going to go through this once in your life, and that's it. You're not going to allow anyone or anything to get to you to this point, because this is actually making you stronger. Even though you might feel that you're weak at the moment, this is making you stronger. You are understanding levels of yourself that you probably never have done. And the thing is, you did it. You're not a victim. You didn't stay. The hardest thing is to actually get past this and do the healing, because healing isn't pretty. There'll be days where you are sobbing, where you are on the floor, you are crying, and you cannot get through to the other level, to the other side. And there'll also be really beautiful days where you don't think of that anymore, and you feel some sort of sense of normality. But that is the thing, pushing forward, pushing through that is the journey. These people, if you can call them that, hashtag, these people come into our lives to teach us something about us. They are not meant to stay in your life. They're not meant to, go round and round in this cycle, although many of us do. Many of them think that it's okay to leave and come back and do whatever the hell they do. But these people are not meant to stay in your life forever. They're meant to actually go. They're meant to break you apart. These dynamics are meant to be difficult and challenging. But what you will do in return is you will learn about yourself. You will ascend to another level. You'll have different understanding of yourself. Oxford, I love that. I will never give up. I have Anushka and all of you. Bless you. Oh, you are a real shining example of how awful this can really get, but how strong our spirit is, and how we can get through this, even though these people are sent to low-key kill us, but they won't. And they won't get to us to that level. It won't happen. Because we are strong and we see through it, we understand. Guy next door, thank you. Thank you so much. So narcs tend to use sleep deprivation as an abuse tactic. Long-term lack of sleep affects our body, psyche, and triggers numerous health complications. This is a really good point. This is a really, really good point. And I know I've talked about how important actually sleep is for us. And when we do not have that, we do not function. So the guy next door, thank you so much for bringing that up. Yes, I will talk about this because you are absolutely right. Please, guys, take note of this, actually, because this is very true. So I read a book maybe about 2 years ago, and it was by this neurologist. And he basically said, for the whole book, he wrote a whole beautiful book about how important sleep is. But he kept saying that if you don't sleep, if you don't have sleep, it can literally kill you. Meaning that if we don't sleep the right amount of time, or we don't have the sleep at the right time, it can cause huge dysregulations, which lead to huge health complications and even death. So people who slept less than, I think, what was he saying, 5 or 6 hours a night, those people were more predisposed to living a shorter lifespan. Now, oh my God, really, it is that bad. So narcissists do use sleep deprivation because it's what I was saying before. When you are kept in fear, when you are kept small, when you are pushed down, this makes it very easy for that person to control you because you're in a state of survival. And when you're in a state of survival, you're not thinking properly or not thinking the way that you normally would. You can't make informed decisions that are right for you at that given moment. So you then make decisions or choices or make choices that are not congruent to you, that are not for your good. So that's how they are able to keep you stuck. That's how they are able to manipulate you and control you easily. This is why they stay with you, because you conform. This is why it's very important that for those of you who are experiencing anxiety, stress, PTSD, or depression and are having a real trouble sleeping, what I would say to you is this, is try to get little naps in the day, okay? Try and relax at certain points in the day. And it might help, you know, to bring about, because there's a few hormones that are important, you know, to our sleep. And that is melatonin, serotonin, and what's the other one? Guys, I've forgotten, but I know melatonin and serotonin are really important for us to sleep. Sorry, I will look up for the third one and I'll write it in the comments after the live, so sorry about that. But when you're in a state of stress, in a state of fear, you don't have so much serotonin. Dopamine, thank you very much, Oxford. Thank you. So you can't produce the dopamine, you can't produce the serotonin, which is a really important hormone for us to sleep. And yes, of course, you can get it synthetically. Of course you can, but it's not the same. It's not the same when you produce it naturally. So this again is that poison that I'm talking about. It's the poison that is seeping into everywhere. This is the damage that they are continue to cause. And it is important for you to find the time to have naps. All right. Don't get annoyed with yourself when you can't sleep in the evenings or at nighttime, when you can't relax. Do something for you that will help you to relax. Would that be watching a film? Would that be reading a book? Would that be listening to some music? Would that be maybe going for a walk? Yes, I know, maybe even at 2 a.m. going for a walk. It's okay. No one's out there judging you. And I know like many of you may have work. But if you're not sleeping, how can you function at work? So this is what I mean. It's about doing things that are going to make you feel good. And try and put a lot of attention into being able to sleep. Also, food comes into this. When you're hungry, you can't sleep. So when you're running on adrenaline, you also can't sleep. So it's about really trying to soothe your nervous system. We're doing certain practices so that it would help to calm you internally. Because otherwise, if you're going to keep going at this rate, it is going to damage you. It is going to continue to disturb everything. Danish Ali says, I haven't slept properly in 5 years. Oh, I really hope that this can help you maybe try to relax a little bit more, because it sounds like your nervous system is overstimulated, or maybe it's adrenal fatigue. I'm not sure. Yeah, they are master manipulators, William. You're absolutely right. And they play games. They play the long game. They do. They love the long game. They do. Oh, bless you, Carrie Ann. So yes, yes, you're saying that you've slept too much, more than 12 hours, and feeling drained by the trauma betrayal. So yes, so it could be that you're going too much into sleep. So it's like your body is kind of shutting down. I mean, what I would say to you as well is maybe set an alarm. So it's like maybe 8-9 hours. And then once you have the alarm, it's just to kind of wake up and do something, because also sleeping too much is not good. But you also need the sleep. So it needs to be the kind of like that right balance as well. Bonnie says, Anushka, was all the anxiety, fight, flight, how they really feel? Yeah, that is also very true. Yes, they are feeling the anxiety. They are absolutely feeling the anxiety. They also feel depression as well. They hide it very well. They hide it very, very well. So when you're feeling that anxiety, it may very well be when you're around them, it's them. Okay, so you're energetically feeling them. So on some level, yes, it is them. But that's what I mean. They make us feel it too. Hurt people hurt people. So there's a lot of truth in that statement. So when they are feeling this, they're going to initiate that onto you. They want you to feel the same as they do. You know, so it's about taking that action to help you to not feel you. Listen, for those of us who do experience anxiety, we're always going to experience anxiety. There isn't really a way of getting rid of it, but you can manage it. You know, for example, I have anxiety. I do. I'm never going to get rid of my anxiety. But the thing is, I know how to manage it. I know when I'm feeling a certain way, you know, for example, for me, it affects me that I can't eat. I just can't eat. So what I try and do on those days when I can't eat is drink a lot of water, do a lot of juices so that I'm not depriving myself on nutrients, and try to eat little and often. So that's what I'm saying. There's things that you can do that will help you. If for those of you, it stops you from sleeping, because at some points I also can't sleep, I listen to white noise. So like, for example, rain or the ocean, or 428 and 532. No, I got that wrong. 432, 528 megahertz, you know, that music. And that really helps. I journal as well. So that really helps me to, you know, kind of move through my feelings. I'm never going to get rid of the anxiety. And I accept that, but I can manage it. Thank you so much, the guy next door. I hereby label the Grinch song as the official Narc anthem. Yes, yes, I completely agree. Yes, that is the national anthem for them. Although we're not celebrating them, we're just saying, okay, that's for them. But thank you so much, the guy next door. Thank you. That was funny. So for those of you that are new on the live or have been here for a while, please do hit the like button. Actually, I can't see where we are up into the like button, the likes at the moment, but I would be really grateful if you were just to, you know, smash that like button. I'd be so grateful. Thank you so much. Hello, Midnight Blue. Thank you for joining. So, these are just some of the ways that they can affect us. But let's look at the way that neurologically, psychologically, this affects us. I think also one of the damaging things is the fact that we find it very difficult to trust people. Thank you very much, Oxford. At 77. Guys, please, I really want us to get to 100. I would be so happy, so grateful. So please do hit that like button. Thank you, Kim. So, the trust issue that is left a mark on us after they leave. Isn't that really bad? Isn't that really sad that it's almost as though we're afraid of other people? That we think other people are going to behave in the same way? That they are going to do that to us? How awful is that? I think it's one of the most damaging things, because that stops us actually from being able to move forward. Because if we're not able to move forward, we can't trust anyone. We can't trust anyone to reveal what we are feeling. Sometimes it's very difficult to talk about what we are going through, what we are feeling. You have to be able to trust that person to be able to do that, to be vulnerable. But it makes it very difficult to be able to do that if you can't trust. Thank you, Oxford. You see, I mean, I could sit here and say, you know what, not everyone's a narcissist. You know, you'll be fine. You'll be able to trust people. But this is something that is an internal job. This is something that you have to arrive at this conclusion yourself. But one thing that you do have to take into consideration is this, is that the person that you are with, okay, they are a narcissist. They are toxic. They did this especially to you, okay, so that they could control you, so that they could have full control over you, so that you surrender to them and they take control. because they also feel uncertain of themselves, uncertain of who they are. They don't really know who they are. So they're trying to navigate this so that this scenario, this situation works out in their favor. And the only way that you can do that is if you can predict the outcome. And if you can predict the outcome, you have to manipulate that person or the outcome to have that final conclusion. This is why they lie. This is why, they tell you things that are not true, things that are not even possible. And deep down, you know that they are telling you lies. You know that what they are saying is not true. You have to go along with it because you don't have a choice, because you're met with rage, you're met with anger. And that is the cycle, which is why then we don't trust others. But the remedy here, okay, is not the fact about trusting others. It's about trusting ourselves. And this is where the damage is. M Singh, thank you so much, my dear. This is just some Anushka family love to us all. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you. Thank you. That's really sweet of you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Guys, please hit the like button if you haven't already. Please, please, please. It would really, really help me out. So this isn't about that trust of others. This is about trusting yourself, because when you're going through these traumatic experiences, okay, you know that they're lying to you, you're being manipulated, and then they do this and you feel like, how could I have got it so wrong? Like, why didn't I see this before? So then there's this distrust, there's this separation that exists or happens from us. Good morning, Indy Walker. Thank you for joining. From Australia, goodness me. Yes, it's the morning. Thank you. So there's this distrust that happens, okay, within ourselves. So if we're not trusting ourselves, of course we're not going to trust other people. And the remedy to this is to build up that trust within yourself, that confidence, your self-worth. Because when you stand strong on your own feet, in your own shoes, you stand in your own power, in your own truth, you can trust others. You can trust others because you know what? You're not going to allow that person to get to you and hurt you or do anything to you, to that point. Because you're standing strong. It doesn't matter what they do because you have boundaries. You know you. And that really is the remedy to this. When you're not trusting others. Yeah, why should you trust others? Trust is earned, right? But you got to trust yourself first. You've earned it. You're not going to let yourself down. Laurie Thompson. Oh, sorry, that was Miss Rockstar. Sorry, yes, 1 through 2 now. So we need the 120 likes minus the larks. Narcs. Thank you. And Laurie Thompson says, no, I pray for wisdom and discern an enemy, and I judge people based on the fruits of the spirit now. Yeah, this is it. This is the key here. You also have to understand that you have something called intuition. So when you trust yourself, your intuitive skills will come out more, and you will be able to discern whether this person is negative or positive. And that's how it works, because you are able to feel it. I always say this in the videos, guys, like, because I always get the questions like, oh, how do I know that the next person that I'm going to be with is not going to be a narcissist? How do I know that they're not going to hurt me? Your intuition is going to tell you. You need to listen to that, my friends, but you're not going to be able to if you're not connected to yourself. Thank you so much, guy next door. Bless you. Thank you. A diagnose or label will not help us or change their behavior. They will abuse people around them, and that's all we need to know in order to get out. Thank you again for your wisdom. You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It doesn't matter. It's true. It doesn't matter whether they're diagnosed or whether they have the label. That isn't going to help us because you already know. You already know that this person has been toxic and damaging to you. You just need to go because you cannot change them. It is not your job. It is not your job to change them. It's not my job either. I can't do it. You got to want to be changed. They don't. So it's not your job. You're not there to be a martyr. Laurie, bless you, Laurie. Thank you so much. It's so nice to hear from you. Hope you are well. I agree. I love Anushka. You have been my friend and listener advisor. Where would I be without you? I shudder to think. Friends here and yes, family, Anushka family. Thank you so much, Laurie. You know what? Laurie is also another person who has really, really done the work, got through this. And do you know what? It was such an awful experience that you had been through, and you just come like to another level, and I really hope that you're doing well because you really are a shining example of how you can move forward from this. We mustn't allow these people to take our future. Yes, they may have taken the past. Yes, they've done that. Okay, fine. But the past is the past. We can't get that back. What we do have is now in the future. All right? Is now. We've got to live in this moment now. And it's our choice whether we bring them into this moment to live here now with us, or whether they just go, or whether we let them go. So it's really our choice. That's right, Bonnie. Level up. Level up. That's what this is about. Choices, my friends. Choices. I love that, Philip. What you do today creates your future. And it's true. Again, it's all choices. What choice are you going to make? How do you want to proceed? How are you going to make this? How are you going to live this? How are you going to do this? That's what it's about. And Paddy, you're absolutely right. Walk away in silence. There's no point. Well, you're going to be talking to a person who doesn't understand. You're going to be telling them things or revealing things that they don't understand, nor do they want to. And this is another thing. They don't want to. So, throughout this kind of examples that I've been giving, can you see the whole thing is damaging? It's not just one certain thing that is damaging in this whole dynamic. There are so many things that are damaging that combined together is like an explosion of poison that has been unleashed onto our lives. Not that we had a choice. We didn't have a choice in this. They are predators. They've got a predatory disposition. And they have chosen you for a reason. You were chosen as a target. Paddy, I do think on a level they do understand what they're doing. They do know what they're doing. That's why a lot of their behaviors are very covert. And they do them under the radar so that no one else can see, only you. It's very personal to you. So they want you to see it. They want you to feel it. So they do know. They do know what they're doing, and they make choices. And those choices is to keep you in fear, because then you are easier to control. If you're easier to control, then they've got you. And that's what it's about. They want to have a desired outcome. So the desired outcome is the manipulation in the middle bit. The desired outcome is that you stay and provide them with supply. That's what it is. Not just you, but there may be others. There may be other people that they have. And that's what they're doing. And they do that because, they were made to feel really unimportant as children. All right. And they were made to feel invisible, which is why a lot of them are in very high-powered jobs, in jobs where they get noticed, celebrities, places where they can get a lot of attention. And so they do the opposite of how they were feeling in childhood. You see, they don't want to be invisible. So they want to show, they want to be very grandiose. They want to be noticed for who they are. Some don't. I'm not saying all of them, but the more overt ones, because what it is this playing out their triggers from childhood. Can you see what they do? A lot of them, yes, it's about feeling unimportant, abandonment, also rejection. Some of them have been rejected from their families. You know, so there's a lot that goes into this manipulation fest of theirs. Okay, but ultimately it's so that you stay, you don't leave, you don't abandon them. Don't abandon them. No. This is why I say, leave. No need to be pouring drinks over their heads. No need to be even giving them that text or sending them, message or calling them, why did you do this? Because they're not going to explain this to you. They don't have that self-awareness. They're not self-actualized, all right? So the abandonment, the rejection, when you're silent, that is rejection. That is a core wound for a narcissist. For most narcissists, that is a core wound. So when you're silent, okay, good, Emsing, I'm glad you went. So when you go silent, this is why they can't handle it. This is why they would most probably reach out to you. Yeah, and Oliver, you're right. Yeah, hoovering also, they come about because hoovering is it could happen for two reasons. Number one, because they still want more supply and they know that you haven't healed, and they know that maybe they might still be able to get something from you. They know that you're still in pain and that you'll still believe what they tell you. You'll still believe the lies. So there's that part of it. Another part of it is because you've gone silent, you're not reaching out. So they're like, what the hell is going on? Why is this happening? That's why they'll reach out. But in all cases, you have to go no contact. You have to, no contact or silence means not looking at their social media, not checking up on them on fake accounts, not asking about them, not even talking about them. It's almost as though you've got to see them as dead. Because when you're still talking about them, still giving it energy. When you're still looking at them on the fake account, I know, because we do look or stalk, not even stalk, but just look at what someone's doing on a fake account because you don't want them to know that you know. You're still giving it energy because you're still interested. You think that they don't feel that? Of course they feel that. They know. It's like what I say in the videos, like when you're thinking of someone and that person pops into your head, and maybe they might ring, maybe they text, or maybe you might even see them. You know why that happens? You know why it's a phenomenon? Because actually that person is also thinking about you. It's almost as though you manifest it because the two vibrations come together, they matches, and you manifest it. Similarly, like if someone else is thinking of you, you might feel like you want to contact them. You might want to reach out. Same thing applies to a narcissist. They'll know. They'll know when you have completely detached and when you are concentrating on yourself. They'll see that you are living a good life. They'll see that you are eating properly, sleeping properly, going to work, earning your coins, They'll see that you're doing good. They'll be like, wow, they've done good without me. They're not going to like that. So they're going to try and compete. You might not even know that they do that, but they'll try and compete. I'll give you an example. When I was in that narcissistic relationship, okay, I did actually start the YouTube channel. But my YouTube channel was all about like meditation and mindfulness, neurological psychology. It was that sort of thing. Because at that time I was doing my master's in clinical psychology, and I only had like 2 or 3 subscribers, but it was more about it was for me to get more confident in being able to speak on camera, but also being able to speak in front of people, because I, believe it or not, I was very shy and not very sure of myself. So this is why I started the channel. And that's what I did it for, literally just to grow my confidence in being able to talk. Because remember, all my life, everyone had always said to me, just be quiet, be shush. You should be seen, but not heard. That's why. So anyway, so this was my confidence block. Anyway, he also started a YouTube channel to compete with me. The guy next door, thank you so much. They are purposely trying to lower our critical thinking, us figuring them out. Then their supply levels will plummet big time when we figure them out. You are absolutely right. The guy next door is on point tonight. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. But you're absolutely right. To stop us having, critical thinking, being able to challenge, being able to say why. They suppress you. You're absolutely right. They suppress you to stop you from thinking, stop you from figuring it out, to stop you from leaving. So can you see that this is also psychological abuse that they're doing? Yeah, they're not only are they competing with you because you're doing better, you're doing good when you've moved on, but during the relationship, they want to suppress you. They want to keep you small. They want to keep you in fear. You know why, my friends? Because you are good at being manipulated. And when you're manipulated, you are under their spell. You are under their control. They own you. That's why they think that. This is why they don't want to let you go. This is why, they do come back and hoover you, because they believe they own you. How sick is that? That's what I want to say. Almost, I don't know why this came to my mind, almost like you're their pet. That's not what relationships are about, are they? You are equal. You are equal. You're a team. You work towards something. Narcissists destroy. You want to work and build something. Narcissists destroy. They compete against you. They want to put you down because they've got to be the ones that are on top. It's always that way. That doesn't change. When you've been made to feel insignificant and invisible in your life, the anger drives you. The anger motivates you. They're angry that this was their childhood. This is why they want to hide it. So this is that motivation. Okay, the anger is driving them forward. So there's no way that you could be better. There is no way that you could get one on top of them. There's no way that you are going to have a better life than them, even if you leave. No. They have always got to think that they are better than you. It's the ego. It's the ego, the dysfunctional ego. Yes, we all have an ego. Not everyone thinks like this, but this is the dysfunctional ego that is formed in childhood. Our ego begins, I think, at the age of like 5 to 7, 7 plus. I think that's what Piaget was saying, in the developmental stages. I think it's 7. I am 80% sure it's from 7 plus. This is where your ego begins to get formed. You start to get a sense of yourself. You start to see who you are in the world. You start to make sense of your environment, of your world. Okay? And the ego is there to protect us. Yes, granted it is. It is there. It's a protective measure. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But when it becomes dysfunctional, you have the production of the narcissist. Because the reason why they are doing this, or the reason why they're behaving this way, is because their ego motivates them. I've got to be better. It's done with anger and rage. That is what motivates them to be this way. So when one of you, I think some of you asked, do they actually know what they're doing? Yeah, 100%. They know what they're doing. They know that their behaviors will affect you in a certain way. They know your triggers. That's why they press your buttons. They know. And they do that especially because they want to manipulate and control you. Another human being shouldn't be in charge of you or telling you what to do or controlling, manipulating you. These are all negative behaviors. Yet it's funny that they do this. Okay, it's funny that they do this. It's not funny. Of course, I'm not saying it's funny. It's not funny. But isn't it always strikes me, you know, out of all the years that I've been doing this, that they all behave the same. They all behave the same. And I remember reading in the comments once, and I've seen it elsewhere. It's like, do they go to narc school to learn this? But it's not that at all. Of course, there's no narc schools or narc university. Yes, the same playbook, Philip. Yeah, that's it. But this is all a product of dysfunctional ego, where they are trying to make sense of their world. They're trying to survive in this world that they feel very lost in. And that's why they do that. That's why they resort to manipulation, because underneath all of that is a very negative, very broken human being. And the ego will behave in very similar ways. In fact, yes, in very similar ways where they mirror. So it's trying to make sense of its world. It's trying to... Laurie, thank you, bless you. Thank you so much. Anushka, I just want to tell you, I am always following you. You keep me on the right path. I may not always say something, but I will always be listening. Oh, Laurie, bless you. Big hug. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for following. You have been here for quite, you've been following me for many years. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so, so much. Guys, I just want to say 2:22, and it's the 6th of the 6th today. Just wanted to add that in there. Guys, if you're watching and you're new here, please do press the like button. I would really, really appreciate it. It would help get this information to a wider audience. And that's really why I do it, because I want to help more people. So please do hit the like button. I would really, really appreciate it. I'd be very grateful for that. So thank you. Manipulation, dysfunctional ego. That's what it is. You see, it's where they didn't receive. Is it already 100 likes? Oh, bless you guys. Thank you. Bless you. Thank you so much for everyone that has liked this live. I am so grateful. Thank you for being so kind. Thank you so, so much. That's why I love you. I'm so blessed to have you. Thank you. Each and every one of you. Thank you. You know, our ego also keeps us stuck as well. You know, like us. Thank you guys for all the love hearts. Our ego can also keep us stuck. You know, so we have to also be aware. We also have to be careful that we're not allowing it to run away with our thoughts. Yes, because this is also not going to help us. This is also going to keep us stuck. Okay. Do you know what? I don't know why this came to my mind, but you know the psychologist Freud. I am a fan of his. He is a very clever man. He said, he gave this analogy. It's like you riding on a horse, a lovely white horse. Okay. And, you're not holding the reins, and this horse is running across the prairie, and you're not controlling that horse. And you've got to take the reins, and you've got to navigate the horse to where you want it to go, because otherwise the horse is going to run all around the prairie, and you're not going to get anywhere. And Freud was using this as an analogy of the ego. And he's quite right. So if we don't stay in control, if we don't stay on top of it, it's gonna make us go all the way around the houses. We are, it's these intrusive thoughts. It's the overthinking. It's the rumination that we do. We keep going round and round in circles, but where do we actually get? And that's the thing you've got to ask yourself. You know, this is what I say to myself when I'm like sitting there thinking, yeah, but why does this happen? But why is that? Da-da-da-da. I do it as well. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm perfect. I do it as well. But then I always ask myself, Anushka, seriously, where's this getting you? Have you actually come to a conclusion? No. So stop. Okay? Stop. And so this is why I kind of journal it, because it helps me to kind of like process the thoughts when I can, because sometimes when you're in the thick of it, you can't. You're stuck in it. But when you can, do that. Do that. Ask yourselves that question. Because our ego, look, if we, you've got to remember, we are not our thoughts. All right. So when you remember that analogy, when you're thinking, yeah, okay, we're not that, you've got to know that you can stay in control and you can, really step outside and think, okay, is this really me, or is this just a fabrication? Is me trying to, try and make this better? And is this really true, what I am thinking? Is this true? So it's about stepping outside of it. And I know it's really weird. I remember when I learned this in my psychology class, they said to get this self-awareness, you have to step outside of yourself. And I thought, what the hell are they actually talking about? How can you step outside of yourself? Like, seriously, this is stupid. But then when I really thought about it, it's about having that detachment. I'm thinking, really, does my bum look big in this? When you're looking at it in the mirror thinking, oh no, it's actually all right. Looks curvy, looks good. That was a silly example, I know. But I'm just saying, just to stop yourself from ruminating. Okay? That's what I mean. Well, you see what happens when it goes to the other side. You know that you got the narcissist, when they are overthinking, they are ruminating, they are, Oxford, don't say about Greek pizza, because I really like that, and I'm actually really hungry. I'm going to literally, when I finish this live, I am actually going to have a big munch session. I'm so hungry, and I don't know why. Today, I've been very hungry. I've eaten like 3 meals already, and yes, I did have dinner. I'm starving. So just remember that you stay in control of this. You can stay on top of this. And our ego isn't necessarily a bad thing, but when it goes into overdrive, when it becomes very toxic, you got the narcissist. They want to control. They want to, Paddy, stop it. Yes, that is exactly what I'm going to be having on Thursday. Exactly that. Yes, Eric. Oh, stop. Guys, my mouth is watering. No, because you're going to make me stop the live and actually go and eat. No, I won't. But yeah, guys, that is exactly what I'm going to be eating on Thursday. I cannot wait. And I know the place where I'm going to go and get it. I will take a photo and I will put it on the stories so you can see it. Yes, Philip, yes. No, not a pie from M&S. No, it will be the gyros or the souvlaki for sure. Oh, Oxford. It's a game changer now. That is my favourite. And they make it fresh over there. Can we stop talking about food, please? Please, guys, please. I'm actually going to cry. No, Paddy, stop it. I'm not looking at the comments, so sorry if I missed your questions. I can't. Guys. Okay. And I'm meant to be doing a live. Guys, oh my God, all I can think about is food. I'm meant to be doing a live. Right. So, the ego, the narcissistic ego. You see what happens when it goes wrong, guys, with your smiley faces. Oh my God. You can see what happens when it goes wrong. So this is about you taking control of it and not allowing it to run away with you. Like what Freud was saying about the horse, you've got to control it. You are not your thoughts. This is about understanding who you are, who you truly are, and not, you've got to remember that your brain is a muscle. And if you're gonna allow it to think, to do whatever it wants, like the horse, you're gonna allow the horse to run across the prairie, and you're not gonna control it. Your mind becomes stronger. The remedy to this is actually taking your thoughts back. Okay. And actually thinking about what it is that you want. Because I know a lot of us spend a lot of time thinking about the narcissist. I know that we do. Because it's a natural thing. We are going to do that. Like, there's no judgment. We are going to be thinking, why? Trying to make sense of this. Of course, because we're at a stage where we're trying to process everything. But you've got to now take that power back and think, okay, so this is my life. Like, how do I want to live it? Where do I want to go in my life? What do I want? And spend your time wisely, thinking about what it is that you actually want. Visualize. Manifest. This is your life. You've got this time to do this now. So you construct your thoughts. You are in control all the time. Not your thoughts in control of you. Going here, there, and everywhere. Like the horse running on the prairie. Take the reins. Is it that you want to be somewhere 6 months from now? 12 months from now? Where will you be this time next year? What do you want from your life? What do you want to achieve? Because if we start unraveling, meaning thinking about why this happened to us, why did the narcissist do this, thinking about what they are doing, why that has happened, we are going to stay stuck. We're going to still stay stuck in that victim mode. And why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Yeah? Because we're not taking control of our lives. We're allowing our thoughts to control. Remember, thoughts become things. But this is what I'm saying. You now got to think, okay, so what is it that I want from my life? What is it where do I want to get to? Where do I want to be? What do I want to achieve? And if you're not moving towards that, then you're wasting time. Yes, because a narcissist is a waste of time. You're not going to heal them. You're not going to understand them. You're not meant to. They're stuck in their own patterns. They don't heal. They don't move forward. They do the same thing over and over again with different people. So this is what I'm saying. These people are lost. They're not going to realize, they're not going to move on. This is what I say, like, the relationships that they're in now, the new supply, it's all an illusion. It's not true. It's fake. You know, and those of you that are thinking, oh, I want to reach out, I want to message, I want to see what they are up to. Why? They're doing the same thing with that person that they did with you. And that person is also going to have the same treatment that you did. They're going to be feeling the same as you. So there's no need to even want to know. They do, you're right, Denise, they do suck the light out of you. They do, they take so much because they are not light. They can't do that for themselves. So they need that supply. They need that someone else to do that for them because they cannot do it for themselves. That light of theirs went out a long time ago, probably in childhood. So this cannot be fixed. So this is why they look to others to give them that. So this is why I'm saying you are the light. You can make that happen for you. So you have to first of all start believing that. Once you believe that, you integrate that, and then you go forward, you make that happen. You start living your life for you. You start bringing things into fruition. Paddy, they can't self-reflect because they don't want to. They're not able to go deep inside. They have built barriers so high, these defense mechanisms, to survive in this world because they are lost. They can't do it any other way. Oxford, bless you. Thank you. Thank you so much. What if I don't know what I want to do with my life now after raising my son? Am I enough right now just to focus on getting well? Laurie, you don't need me, my dear, to answer that. Of course, this is about focusing on getting well. This is about being happy where you are. All of the answers will come to you, but this is about connection to self. So focusing on getting well, yes, that is you connecting back to yourself. That is it. That is what you need to do, my dear. You are the most important, and you mustn't ask that question whether you're enough, because you know what I'm going to say. You are more than enough. You are more than enough. I want you to look at that photo that you showed me. That is you. Okay? You know what I mean. Thank you so much, Guy Next Door. You're absolutely right. More words of wisdom. The narcissist goes to the grave with the narc. Yes, it does. Because this isn't something that will ever change. This isn't someone that will ever be able to realize, and it will never get healed. I know that is my opinion, and I know that there is conflicting advice that narcissism can be healed. I personally don't believe that it can. You're welcome, Oxford. I don't think that it can be, because they cannot self-reflect. They are not able to be self-actualized. So when someone isn't able to do that, you can't do it. You can't. That's it. Your brain is constructed in that way, and it doesn't change. And that is what I'm saying. It just, neurologically, it can't. When we experience trauma, we experience blockages. This is where the brain fog, the cognitive dissonance comes in. Okay, and I know that a lot of us have actually experienced this. So when you have the cognitive fog, the brain fog, the cognitive dissonance, there's blocks, okay, within your neural network, within your neural functioning. And when these blocks happen, you literally stop. It stops. You cannot think. There's no executive functioning going on, your working memory, anything. You cannot access that information. So basically, you stop. You freeze in that moment. Because what happens is you replay it. This is what happens at the beginning stages of PTSD. So you're replaying that experience over and over again because you've actually got stuck, because there is blockages. This is very damaging for your mind. This is on a very small scale amnesia. On a very small scale. It's not the same thing, but on a very small scale, it can be likened to amnesia. Okay? And you see, when you're experiencing that, it's like your whole life is stuck. You can't move forward. So these blockages that happen, it interrupts your life. Okay? And what happens is when you're experiencing neurologically this block, your neural pathways will go round, or they will cut off, they will die. And it's a very normal part. It's a very normal part of the process. Some neural pathways do die off when we're not using them. And this is what I was saying before. Our brain is a muscle. If you're using it constructively, okay, you're going to be able to heal. You're going to have more of those positive days. You're going to have more of that positivity in your life because you're thinking positive. This is how you're now constructing your thoughts. You're not allowing your negative thoughts to run away with you. Okay, so you're constantly pushing forward, okay? This is about repetition. This is how habits stick. You have to repeat the same thing over and over again, usually 21 days minimum for it to stick, okay? So you have to keep going. When you're experiencing cognitive fog, you have to do things that will make you feel good. So you know the things that are going to make you feel good. You have to keep practicing it over and over again. For example, for me, what I did was I would go out for walks in nature, but also the gym really helped me. For me, it was the gym, okay? So it could be something different for you. It could be painting, it could be journaling, it could be knitting, it could be horse riding, it could be bike riding, it could be dipping your feet into the ocean. These are the things that are going to help you feel good, feel you. Ultimately, this is about feeling, this is about immersing your senses, okay, and healing, all right? So that's, and getting you out of that stuckness. Yes, out of that stuckness in feeling like you can't move forward, like you can't have your life back. Because when you're immersing your senses, you're feeling, okay? You're not numb, you're feeling. And yes, of course, we can feel numb. There is emotional numbness. But when you're doing this, this is going to help you feel that connection back to yourself. That is ultimately what is important here. All right? So, you can get rid of the blockages within neurologically, but this is what I'm saying. You've got to allow these neural pathways to form, these synapses to fire from one to another. And this is how you get through repetition, the right food, sleep, all of this works. Thank you so much, Virtual Savage. Bless you. Thank you. Why would an ex-narc block and unblock you multiple times months after the discard? Well, that's all about spying on you. That's all about watching you. And also, that's also checking to see whether you would reach out to them or whether that narc will actually make contact with you. This is all about, this is a game. It's a mind game. So they've blocked you because they're like, I don't want anything to do with you. So they unblock you to watch you, maybe even reach out, stalk you. But I'm sure they've got fake accounts that they're stalking you on. But this is a mind game. They are, I think what they are doing here is they're trying to see if you will reach out to them. Or another one could be that you see their social media because they're posting something that will make you feel upset or jealous, maybe with new supply. That could be a possibility as well. But usually it's a mind game. And if I was you, I just block them. Okay, you don't need to be, in that whole dynamic thinking, oh, what's going on? But yeah, it could be either one of those reasons. I hope that helps. Wow, the guy next door, bless you, traveling. Yes, traveling is amazing. Yes, visiting Taiwan, South Korea in September. I hope you have an amazing time. That is a beautiful way to connect back to yourself, and that is traveling. I have actually suggested this to a few of my clients, recently actually, to go traveling. And I'm doing it. I love it. Eric, yes, tree hugging. Yes, introduced me to a few. Palm, and there's some. Yes, tree hugging, that's another one. But you see, that is what I mean. It's like, so the cognitive dissonance can disperse. It doesn't mean that it has to be stuck and it has to be part of your future, because you can actually, do something about it. It doesn't mean that you have to be stuck in this process, where you feel not in control of your thoughts. You are, and you will get through this, okay? The other thing that I would say is that you've got to take into account also how you are feeling, also how you are, because if your nervous system is overstrained and is overstimulated, then this is going to play havoc also on your health. This is going to have havoc on yourself. So you've got to put certain practices in place that are going to help you to calm your nervous system. Nature is free, and it really helps. Listening to music really helps, because adrenal fatigue is painful. And again, it stops you in your tracks. Yes, there may have been this damage from them. Yes, granted, we have been wounded. But it doesn't mean that we've got to stay there. It doesn't mean that we have to stay there and accept what has happened. We have the power within every single one of us to move forward from this. And it's like I say, we have to make that choice. We have to move forward. For everything that has happened to you, there is a remedy. There is a way forward. But you have to choose that. Remember, we have free will. Remember, the narcissists try to take that from us and say that we don't, but we do. We do have free will. And this is about us accessing that and knowing that we are much more than this experience. This experience doesn't have to define us. They do so many things that do damage us, but that damage doesn't have to be lasting. That doesn't have to be something that we take into our future going forward. This can be something that you make a choice and put it to bed and just think, okay, these people are truly, truly damaged. And all of this damage, this toxicity that they have flowing through their veins, they try to unleash that onto you. You see, you got a little window of it. You got a little window, a little taster of the way that they live, the way that they think, the way that they function. You got a little taster of that. But you can leave that. You can leave this. They can't. They are stuck in this. They feel that all the time. That is what's going on in their mind all the time. So you have the choice to stay stuck in that hell that they are experiencing, that they unleashed onto you, or you can move forward and heal from it. Healing is also a blessing because we learn aspects of ourselves. We access new information about ourselves that we never knew that we had or that was possible. So what has broken us apart allows us to build strong foundations that we can then build upon. That's what it does. Carrie Ann, amazing. 1 month. No contact, 3 months. 4 months, 6 months. Look at you guys. This takes guts. It's not easy to leave something like that. Someone who you thought that you had loved, that you have cherished and you were going to spend the rest of your life with. Then you just go. This takes guts. There's many people that don't actually get past it, that stay in these dynamics. Well done. 2 months, Joseph. 9 months, Paddy. This is what I mean. This takes determination. This takes courage to be able to do that, and resilience. And no, it's not easy. I know that this journey isn't easy for any one of us. But if we choose us, connect to us, love us, access our intuition, know that this life is meant for us. We're meant to live it, not just survive it. All right? We're not meant to survive this life. We are supposed to experience the magic of this life. Each and every one of us. So we've got to put in the work. Think about it. We've got to put in the work to be able to access it. We mustn't let this damage define us. Because that's what the narcissist does. They know that their childhood was awful. They know that it damaged them in some way. So what they do is they try and deflect from it. They try to run away. They try and hide and run and lie and scam other people. They're still allowing their past to be in their future because this is the way that they have constructed themselves. This is the way that they are. This is how they behave. So that is them. So we don't want to be like them. We use them as an example. Use them as an example to learn from. We don't want to be like them because that's them stuck in their past. They actually are in their past. They're actually reliving it all the time. You guys got to see what their childhood was like. And it was bad, wasn't it? Like it was really, really bad. But they made the choice to stay stuck in it. They made that choice to be that. None of our childhoods were amazing and so really happy. And, some of us had worse ones than others, yes. And they weren't always happy. And yes, many of our parents got us wrong or didn't understand us or just, our parents did the best that they could. But you see, We 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 make a choice whether we take this road or this road, because the narcissist took that road, and look what happened. Are they happier for it? Are they happier about destroying people, hurting people, scamming, conning people? No, they're not. They don't actually live a true, real life. They're not happier. They're not happy. They may show you that they're happy, but they're not happy. They don't know what that is. So don't compare. Don't think that they're getting on with their lives and they're having a good time. They're really not. They're really, really not. And although you may compare and think that you're not either, but you have hope. You have a future. You have a purpose. And that's the difference. And this is about understanding that actually you are very important. You are good enough. All right? And that you being here at this time, at this point in your life, is all very significant. It's where you're meant to be. So where do you go forward? Where do you go from here? What do you want? Where do you want to be? Because this human experience you're having now. And is it making you happy? And that is the things that you need to consider. Are you happy? What can you do to make you more happy? This person, okay, this person didn't come into your life to render you a victim. All right, this person came into your life so that you learn about yourself. You know who you are. Okay? Who you are. They're going to keep coming back. They're going to keep wanting to know. They're going to keep wanting to dragging you back into hell. Are you going to go? You're going to do that. That's the choice that you're going to make. Or do you want to choose a future that is full of hope and prosperity and abundance? Because that is waiting for you. But you got to choose it. Remember, you have free will. You have to choose what it is that you want. That's right, Paddy. Happiness does come from inside. It starts from inside and it comes to outside. It's like what I was saying about relationships as well. Will you ever get into another one? Of course you will. But you have to have that relationship and that connection to yourself first. Otherwise, if you're disconnected, you're gonna attract more disconnected people that are going to be emotionally unavailable. And that's not what we want. We want people who are available, who are there for you, who are for you, and you are for you. I hope that makes sense. I know I do blab on a bit, but I hope that makes sense. So guys, I really hope that this live has helped you to see this from a different point of view. Yes, they are very damaging. Yes, they were sent in your life to damage, to hurt you. And also for you to have realizations about yourself. To know that this person was in your life for a purpose. They're not meant to stay there forever. They're not meant to keep looping back. This is about you choosing you. Okay? It's about choosing you. Because remember, you're not going to be the same person that you were before you met the narcissist. And you're not meant to be. You're meant to grow into who you are today, who you are right now. This is about you rising. This is about you leveling up. Yeah, I know, Carrie Ann, the trauma bonds they're very painful. They're really awful. Oh, thank you, Island Girl. I'm glad that you feel supported and we love you back. And those of you that are going through this trauma bond, I know that it keeps zapping you back. But do you remember what I talked about earlier, guys? This is about those thoughts. Remember the thoughts that keep zapping you back into thinking, oh, you know, I'm not good enough. This is the trauma. This is the cognitive dissonance. Okay. So remember, you've got to practice. Remember, your brain is a muscle. You've got to keep going. You've got to keep moving forward. Yeah, you've got to keep going forward, because if you're staying stuck in this bond that is based on trauma and betrayal, what are we doing? What are we doing? And you know what? A lot of us have been in this trauma bond, and you can move forward from it. You can so move forward from it. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. Oh my gosh, 135 likes. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Oh, do you know what? This has been such a great live. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here and for participating. And for those of you that have just been listening, it's no problem. I really appreciate you guys being here and actually celebrating with me the 100K. You know, again, I'm blown away. Like I really just so grateful. Honestly, so grateful. You know, and this is what I mean. You can achieve anything that you put your mind to it. Yes, it takes perseverance. And yeah, there's going to people be out there who want to bring you down, who want to make you feel awful. But this is what life is. You know, life is like that. It's up and down, but we can't stay stuck thinking about the negative. You have to change that mind so we think positive. It's a choice. Remember, it's a choice always. Thank you, Midnight Blue. Thank you so much. You know, I really am so grateful to every single one of you. I'm going to be doing some giveaways during the week. I'm going to be doing some mentorship giveaways. I'm also going to be doing some free... don't you just love it when this happens? Sessions with me. Yeah, there's going to be giveaways. I really wanted to do them on this live, but do you know what? I'm really sorry. This was so last minute. I wanted to get like 100K balloons and everything, but I was just like, it didn't happen. So I will, do you know what? During the week, let me just get to Greece. And we will, do you know what? And we will, I will do all the giveaways. So just give me a couple of days, guys, and I will be back on the stories. I will be doing the giveaways. So, guys, thank you again so much for being here. You guys blow me away. Thank you. Thank you very much, Joseph. Oxford, amazing. Island Girl. Do you know what? I'm gonna read through the comments. Definitely read through the comments, you know, during the week. I know, Oxford, you had said for me to do that, so I will do that. On the previous ones. I'm so going to have a midnight feast right now. It's not midnight where I am, it's 11 o'clock. So I'm going to be having an 11 o'clock feast. Believe me, I am. I'm so hungry. Did you guys not hear my stomach rumbling? Because it really was. I'm starving. I don't know why. But yeah. That's right. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Yeah, that's right, Bill Murray. Don't let people treat you bad. You're so welcome, Laurie. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm having, yes, pizza or a cheese toasty. Yes. No, Paddy, I think that's my next door neighbour's dog. My dog, he's out for the count. I took him to the park earlier and he was running around after this... after the frisbee. He's got a frisbee. The dog's got a frisbee. So he was chasing that frisbee. So he's very tired. I did that especially so that he would just sleep. Thank you, Eric. Yes, Greece in 2 days. Oh, tummy rumbling. Yes. Oh, you thought it was the dog. Good. Glad you thought it was the dog. It was my stomach. I'm so hungry. Oh, gosh, guys. Once again, thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you, Oxford. Yes, little Alfie falling asleep. His eye's a little bit poorly. I think it's to do with his allergies. I had to take him to the vet last week and he's got new medication, like steroid medication, bless him. So he's a bit unwell at the moment. His poor little eye. So hopefully he will get better. And before you guys ask, he's staying with my mum and dad. Of course, my mum's going to take Alfie. Like, she never gives him back. So, of course, she was very happy to take Alfie whilst I'm going to be in Greece. But I'm going to miss him very much like I did last time. But anyway, guys, listen, I really need to go and eat. I really do. So I'm going to love you and leave you guys. Also, just want to say that next week I will try my best to do the live, but I don't know what the internet or the Wi-Fi connection is in the place. So I will keep you guys updated, but I will do my very, very best to be live next Tuesday at the usual time, 9 p.m. UK time. So it's going to be 11 p.m. Greek time. You guys are going to have to work out the time difference, but it's the normal time, guys. So whoever's here, it's the normal times. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Love every single one of you. Anushka family, thank you so much. I will hopefully, fingers crossed, see you next week. Bye-bye.